Okay, magandang gabi ho sa inyo lahat. Happy Thursday! Magandang gabi ho sa inyo lahat. Welcome sa ating program. Ako po si SONNY LARAGAN para sa ating regular na Thursday program about immigration. Ito po yung Immigration Corner. So, syempre, may kasama ho tayo. Hindi naman ako eksperto. Wala naman ako masyadong nalalaman dito. Pa isa-isa lang, pa konti-konti lang. No? Siguro ang knowledge ko ng immigration, siguro from 1 to 100, siguro mga 2%. Kaya hindi ako talaga eksperto. Andito lang ako. Umaalalay, no? Sinasamahan yung ating napakabuti at napakahusay na immigration specialist dito sa United Kingdom. Walang iba kundi si Attorney LIRA Simon CABATBAT. Attorney, magandang gabi sa iyo.
Sonny, hello. Happy Thursday po.
Yes, happy Thursday sa iyo. Naku, it's nice to see you again. Uy, last week na-miss ka namin, ha? Last week yata yung na-miss ka namin, di ba?
Yun nga po, last week. I'm so sorry. Family accident. So, wala nang, no broken bones or anything like that. Okay lang naman. Yun nga lang, I was stuck in hospital for a while. So, nagagawa natin.
Saan yan? Sa may A&E, bale? Ganyan?
Yeah. Chelsea, Westminster.
Wow.
Hindi sila eh.
Okay. Ano nangyari mismo? Yung family member ba? Ano mang nangyari, Attorney?
Yeah,
Buti naman, walang masyadong malalang nangyari, no?
No. Nahulog nga lang. So, no broken bones. We thought there may be, pero wala naman. But it was just question of waiting. Actually, I was waiting so long. I was tempted. I thought, maybe meron silang signal dito. Maybe I could still log on.
Uy, pwede yan, ha? Pwede yan, Attorney. We can do that pagka in future. Kung sakali lang, no? Sabagay, you didn't know naman, di ba? Pero kung, di ba? Sayang, no? Pero, pareho kasi kayo ni si Attorney Dana din eh. Pupunta ng Pakistan.
Oh.
Pakistan nga ba? Pakistan. Pupunta ng Pakistan na bukas. Andun siya ng mga 5 days yata kung hindi ako nagkakamali. Hindi kasi yung kanilang company kasi parang meron yata siyang inaasikaso tungkol doon sa kanilang mga may nag-expand ang kanilang kumpanya eh. Kaya meron Yeah. Well, meron silang they came up with a new, hindi ko pa pala na-like yung, kalimutan ko. Meron silang bagong app, yung medical negligence app, no? Ina-announce nga namin nung Tuesday. So, yun, yung medical negligence app pala, I should say. Tapos meron silang, nag-expand sila, they're tying up, they're coming up with, meron silang basta meron silang marami silang ginagawa ngayon eh. Internet-based, I mean, with the new technology. Yun ang kanilang mga updates na ginagawa.
Pakistan, wow. Okay. Well,
yeah, pero
okay, no?
Pero madaling araw, 5-hour time difference ang Pilipinas tuloy. Ang UK, Attorney, but she will do the program daw. She will do the program. So, alauna ng madaling araw, andun si Dana. So, Dana mabuhay, no? Si Attorney Dana Quinto. Oo. So okay, walang nangyari. So it was more of a wait.
Truly, I was so tempted. I mean, tinitingnan ko yung mobile ko. I wonder if it's too late now to log on. I was so tempted to just call you to say, okay, it's a bit strange also. Wala naman silang, because of COVID nga, no? Wala silang waiting room as such. No? So I would have been outside, so that would have been a little bit strange. Anyway, I missed you all, no? So I'm so sorry to have been away. Actually, I was particularly annoyed that I was away because we had some news to do nga with skilled worker route, no, which obviously had to wait, a week hanggang ngayon for me to update us all. So so yung pag-uusapan natin nga ngayon, there being some,
yes, nga pala.
Yeah,
teka muna. Sandali, ipa-flash natin muna. Kailangan malaman ng ating Ito yung fina-flash natin bago nagsisimula yung program, no? Ito ho, ang ating topic for today, no? Ano yung topic natin ngayon, Attorney?
Yeah. So, work visa process the 1st of December. So, really very, very new, no? So, it's, only a couple of weeks.
Couple of weeks lang, couple of weeks lang, yeah.
So, so it's good to have to discuss that nga. And marami tayong siguro mga kababayan na maapektuhan nito. So, and I've had a few inquiries actually. So, I thought, okay, pag-usapan natin ito nga. And now, alam na natin ano nga gagawin nila. Because before, nung unang pinag-usapan nga ito, it wasn't really clear kung are they implementing the MAC report o hindi ba. So ngayon, nandyan na. So 1st of December, this is now on their website ng Home Office.
Ayun. Oh, okay. Ayan. So, meron din palang mga tatamaan ito, no? Ito updated to, no? Starting 1st December, bagong-bago pa. So, kaya lang nga ma-update ho tayo. Okay. Well, that's nice, no? At least meron tayong mga panibago. Is it for the good ba? Medyo maganda ba ang mga updates, attorney?
No.
O medyo lalong mihigpit?
Well, it's not as there's some that still maganda nga, but for the most part, yung akala kong igagawin nila, which was to follow this recommendation, the Migration Watch recommendation MAC report, no, hindi nila ginawa for the most part, no, which is very disappointing, especially as clearly, no, yung mga occupation na hindi nila inilagay, hindi nila sinama. They're actually occupations that are crucial to the United Kingdom, especially nga ngayon. But we'll talk about that. So it's been a frustrating week, no? And and the more you read about it, the more they publish, the more annoying it was becoming. But okay, magagawa natin. I was hoping it would be a good Christmas for some.
Oo nga, oo. Di ba, well, ganun talaga ang buhay. Talagang things change. Di ba mga, yung before 2012, yung nga ang mga magulang pwedeng dalhin dito over 65 at maraming pagbabago, no? So, naghihigpit. In fact, di ba, pati noon, parang hinigpitan na rin nila ang student visas, no? Pagka, dati may mga 10-hour work week yata, pagka per week yata, gano'n ba? 10 hours na allowed. 20 o nawala yata yun, di ba? Na-confine yata doon sa mga collegiate ba? Hindi ko alam, attorney, ayoko magmarunong. No? Kasi di ba dito, marami pumapasok nun yung mga mga mabababa lang, ano ba tawag dito? Yung mga NVQ na courses yata anong araw, nag-student visa na rito eh. Tapos, di ba? Nakakapagtrabaho sila. Matatanda na sila, kamukha ng mga iba-ibang lahi, no? May itim, may Indians, may may 50 years old, 60 years old student visa, pero most of the time naglilinis doon sa isang lugar, no? 20 hours, pasok sa 20 hours yun. Pero hindi ba naghigpit, naging doon na lang sa collegiate level, kung pwede, hindi pa pwede yung mga minor courses? Tama ba yun?
Yeah, ibang-iba na ngayon ang student visa, no? Yung nga, very, very limited work allowed nga. So it's so definitely nagbago na nga, no? But it's I was hoping that itong for that on the 1st of December na the government will implement what has been recommended by the MAC report, no? So they recommend nga which occupations are needed by the UK nga and yung economy natin dito. At saka of course, given also the pandemic, no? At saka the need for people to be cared for, no? That of course, but dito tumatanda nga tayo. There's quite a getting older population, and it's a good thing, of course, that we're all living longer. But of course, some people will need care. So yeah, so it's very disappointing na they didn't actually implement it.
Yun nga, yung MAC report hindi pala ini-implement din pala, namimili din pala ang gobyerno, no? Hindi pala yun. Hindi pala parang good as good as it is, no? Hindi pala yun, no?
Yeah.
Hindi pala ini-implement yun. Meron palang may mga limitations pa. I mean, meron palang baguhin. Maybe they can change it, no? Hindi pala porke yun ang recommendations eh. Okay na. So, may maraming mga trabahong nawala, nga doon sa mga dating listahan, attorney?
Yeah.
Ganun ang nangyari?
So, yun ang nangyari. So, I'd like to update on that. Also, ang ginawa ko, just in case meron tayong mga callers nga, I've actually listed nga, so I have my, if I'm looking to my side, it's because I'm looking at my laptop, no?
Oo.
So, ginawa ko, nilista ko nga dito lahat ng mga occupations and which ones of those occupations are part of the shortage occupation list. So kung may mga taong tatawag nga sa atin, so sabihin nila, okay, itong trabaho ko, do I come into the, can I make an application in the skilled worker route? Hopefully I'll be able to provide.
Malalaman mo yan, bibigay mo information. Yeah. Okay, attorney, magbe-break muna tayo and pagbalik natin, Ah, siguro, teka muna, sige, mamaya na siguro, makapagbati natin siguro, no? Balik natin, syempre, no, tatalakayin natin yung, yung mga medyo pumasok, no? O tipong na-maintain o nawala, tinanggal doon sa MAC report, no? Wag ho kayo nga alis, no? Saglit po lamang, kami ho ni attorney ay magbabalik. Saglit po lamang.
O ayan, halos lahat meron na.
What about David?
Alam ko na. Kapag nagpadala tayo ng pera sa Pinas, gamit ang World Remit, pwede tayong manalo ng Grain Smart pangkabuhayan package worth 200,000 pesos. May bigasan, tablet na nakasetup na for bill payment business. At may kasama pang online training session. O di ba? Pwede nang magsari-sari store. Magpadala na gamit ang World Remit bago December 31st para manalo ng pangarap nyong pangkabuhayan para sa pamilya nyo sa Pinas ngayong Pasko.
Mula noon hanggang ngayon, serbisyong mapagkakatiwalaan, serbisyong maaasahan pagdating sa inyong mga padalang balikbayan boxes. Dito ka na sa Forex Cargo. Sa presyong kayang-kaya ng bulsa, sigurado ka pa sa inyong padala. Forex Cargo. Dahil kailangan makarating. Call 0208-813-7064. O ano pang inaantay niyo mga kabayan? Tayo na sa Forex Cargo.
Okay, tuloy-tuloy tayo sa ating program, no? Si Sonny LARAGAN ito, dito po sa Immigration Corner. At syempre, kasama natin si Attorney LIRA Simon CABATBAT. Attorney, good evening once again, no? Once
Hello,
again,
happy Thursday ulit.
Happy Thursday. Oo, happy Thursday. Ayan, no? So, ayan, na-miss mo kami. Na-miss ka rin namin, no? Lahat tayo nagka-miss-missan.
Definitely, I was disappointed nga, no? I'm so sorry I missed last Thursday. But yung nga, it's
Ganon talaga.
Yeah.
Oo.
It's anyway, yun nga. So it was a bit frustrating that I couldn't join. So sorry po. So sorry.
Nangyari din naman sa akin, attorney. So okay lang, 'di ba? Sa akin naman talagang grabe yung aksidente, talagang yung kotse umiikot-ikot pa talagang ano. At silang apat na yung aking daughter at yung tatlo kong anak nakasabit sila upside down, no? So yan, well, at least
no.
Pero ayun, at least sana ganun na lang ang nangyari at siguro baka merong, sabi nga nila, baka may mas masamang mangyayari, at least doon na lang napunta, no? Parang naisalo na lang. But I'm so thankful na ganun ang nangyari at safe naman yung mga bata, no? And my daughter, no? Si Iya. Okay, iba yung mga pagbatis tayo, no, attorney. Ito, ito si unang-una to si Lorelie Cantos, no? Hello po, good evening. Kilala mo ba yan si Lorelie Cantos?
Yes. I think I do actually, Miss Cantos.
Lorelie,
Yes, good evening.
mabuhay ka, no? Ayan. Tapos ito yung siguro kung magbibigay tayo siguro ng mga medalya dito sa ating programa, siguro bigyan natin ng medalya to si Ma'am Cora Carsola dahil wow, talagang matindi, no? Ma'am Cora Carsola. Sabi niya, magandang gabi po, Sir Sonny, Attorney Lira, and all. Ayun. Would like to say hello to Cheryl Santa Romana, Nonong. She's watching nanonood sa atin. Mabuhay ka, no? Yung iba, hindi sila nagpaparamdam eh. Pero andyan lang sila nanonood, no? Si Maris Mendez, attorney. Sabi niya, good evening po, happy Thursday. Ayan, mukhang nagiging catchphrase na yata yung happy Thursday, attorney.
Happy Thursday po.
Oo, happy Thursday. O Jeff Dancel, JCF, parang sino ba ito? JCF Dancel, mabuhay, no? Nanonood siya sa atin, no? Ito ito nakakatuwang pangalan niya, attorney. Bawinski.
Oh, wow.
Wow, yun, no? Bawinski, no? Ano kaya, taga saan kaya si Bawinski, no? Ito si May Tigbaw Vargas, attorney. Sabi niya, good evening, Sir Sonny. Yan, regular natin yan. Mabuhay ka, May, ha? Good evening, Sir Sonny and Attorney Lira, watching from Exeter, Devon. Happy Thursday. Uy, sa Sabado, manood ka, May, ha? Doon sa Sabado panalo, 5,000 pesos na ipamimigay ko. Sa ating mga 5,000 na, attorney. Kung may manualan 2, 3, 4, o di ba? 5, 6.
Yeah.
Basta pamimigay lang natin yung 5,000 pesos, no? Sa mga pamilya ho ninyo sa Pilipinas. Pagkalat ho ninyo. Kasi kung tayo-tayo lang ang manonood, pa kayo lang mananalo. Sayang naman din. Okay. Si Nes Gonzalez Page. Bago to, attorney. Nadinig mo na ba to? Nes.
No, new viewer na.
Viewer natin si Nes Gonzalez Page. Siguro nakapangasawa ng si Mr. Page na pangasawa niya, no? Kaya Page. Ayan. Thank you very much na ito, si Edgardo Cagahastian Enriquez nanonood sa atin. Ito yung ating mga regular guys, no? Thank you very much, ha? Maganda yan. Nakakatuwa naman, no? These are the people that we have nakakatuwa. Okay, ano pa ba? Si Amelie nanonood sa atin. Amelie Kotahar. Ang ganda naman ang pangalan, no? Kotahar. No? Kotahar. C-U-T-A-J. Kilala mo yan?
No, nandito sa harap natin, Perla de Guzman. Ewan ko nakikita mo.
Si Perla, yeah, good evening. Good evening, sir. Sonny Laragan and Attorney Lira. Ikaw nga, pakibasa mo, attorney. Yan. Ito susunod.
Yeah.
Nahirapan ako dyan eh.
Okay, so from I always get flummoxed.
Hindi, mahirap eh. Hindi ka Oja ba yan? Oha Yahim. Ikaw talaga, ha, Marinel, ha? Pero mabuhay ka. We love you.
Good evening to you both, Sir Sonny and Attorney CABATBAT. Good evening po.
Ito. Okay. Ito yung ating mga, yung Happy Thursday Brigade natin, dyan na, mabati na, attorney.
Yeah. Emmeline Rapel. Oh, hello po, Ms. Rapel. Yeah, good evening, Sonny and Attorney Lira. Happy Thursday to you both and everyone.
Ito, nanonood sa atin, Divina Rio, ang pangalan niya. Divina Rio, mabuhay ka. Mag-comment naman kayo riyan, no? Nanonood lang sila, Gerard Lagunsad. Ayan. Si Perla de Guzman, binati mo, no? Nanonood sa atin, of course. Ito, Crispina Verano Antonio. Ito, hindi mo narinig itong mga names, no? Mabuhay kayo, ha? Thank you very much for watching, no? Si siguro Jonathan to, attorney, no? J tapos Tan. Siguro shortened form ng Jonathan siguro, no? Jonathan Mariano. Ayan. Arvin Domingo, thank you very much. He's watching, no? Meron ng tanong dito, attorney, pero mamaya-maya na. Andrew, shall we allow it right now or later on na siguro?
Well, I mean,
Mamaya na.
up to you. Yeah.
Hindi, sige, okay. Andrew, we're gonna read your questions. Attorney Lira Simon Kabatbat would first discuss the topic that we have tonight. And then afterwards, no, we'll be open for the parang open forum for questions, no? So,
Yeah.
sige. Ito
So
ang
keep
topic
watching.
natin. Ay, hindi pa pala yan. Ano ba yung bumati? Tapos na tayo. Wala tayong unang bumati. Tapos na ho yan. Okay. Ayan, ito ang topic natin. Ayan. Work visa
Sige po.
process from the 1st of December. O sige,
Yeah.
attorney.
Okay. Alright.
Sige, take it away. Okay.
Okay. All right. So, okay. So, ang unang-una po ito, nagbago na ang tawag tier 2, no? Which is the main work route into the United Kingdom, you know? So, those of you who may be familiar, there's something called the points-based system, and within that, there's something called tier 2. They said it essentially regulated nga those people who want to come into the country to work in the main, okay? So, from the 1st of December, nagbago na. Ang tawag na yun. So, this is now called the skilled worker route, the skilled worker visa, essentially. So, that replaces yung tier 2. Now, there have been a number of changes and some very disappointing also. So, now, yung mga regular viewers natin, you will remember a few months back, I was so excited. Sabi ko, oh gosh, you know, senior care workers, I think, may be back, no? And unfortunately, even though it was recommended by MAC that it should be senior care workers should go on the list of shortage occupation list, they did not implement it. So the Home Office, or rather the Secretary of State, sabi niya, no, we're not going to include, at the moment at least, the senior care workers, which is incredibly disappointing and I think very short-sighted, no? Because at the moment there clearly is a huge demand, need, crucial need really for not just senior care workers but actually carers. No? We know that because there's always a shortage of people working as carers and certainly shortage of those who are working as also senior care workers. But for whatever reason, the Home Office, the government thought, no, they will not implement MAC's recommendation that they be included. So incredibly disappointing, I must say. It's and hopefully magbabago din ang isip nila and they will see the light and actually implement it, you know, sometime. But at the moment, unfortunately, it's not on the list. Now, having said that, the changes still, of course, have been implemented. So from the 1st of December, sabi ko nga, it's now called the skilled worker visa, skilled worker route, rather than tier 2. Now, it follows similar processes, but there are quite a number of important changes, no? So just to break it down in more manageable chunks. So unang-una, kailangan niyo pa rin ng trabaho. Okay? So no two ways about that. You need to have a sponsor in the United Kingdom in order to be able to come in as a tier 2. Now, if you want to know kung the employer that you have is actually licensed, no, by the Home Office to take on applicants from abroad. Now you can go on the Home Office website, no, and makikita nyo doon, it's a very long list, and there's some in excess of 32,000 noted employers on the list. So you just need, so first thing really is to check that they're actually they in fact have a sponsorship license, unang-una. If they do have a sponsorship license, and this of course depends also on whether you're in the country or from the or applying in the UK, they can then issue you what's called a COS, no? So meron kayong makukuhang reference number. And that reference number, kailangan yung lagay doon sa application nyo pagka magpapasok kayo. The application is actually made online, no? So, unang-una, as I say, kailangan yung trabaho, and that job must be, the job offer must be from someone who is licensed to take on, a licensed sponsor. No? So that's the first thing. Can't go anywhere without that first thing. Now, second thing really is the points-based system, effectively. No? So you need a total nga of 70 points. So that remains to be the case. Now, the mandatory points are yung sponsor. Kung may akong sponsor, then that's already 20 points. Job at an appropriate level. Okay, so if you satisfy nga the job as they listed, no, that's already 20 points. English language skill, and that's at a minimum nga of B1 level, and that's another 10 points. So that makes up the 50 points. Now, what then? So kulang pa kayo, no? You need, of course, 70 points. Now, that is then to do with income. No? Now, you have to distinguish really between jobs that are on the list, okay, and those are who are they call shortage occupation list. Now, jobs on the list, there are quite a few. And as I was saying, I do have my laptop here. So, for example, there on the list are also on shortage occupation are nurses. So midwives, for example, are not on the shortage occupation list. I'm just looking at this: further education teaching professionals, not on the shortage occupation list. Now, if you're not on the shortage occupation list, the minimum income you have, okay, is £25,600, or the going rate for that job. They mean the going rate, well, exactly that. So, for example, if you look at midwives, so just looking at this, it's so midwives would need to earn a certain amount. So it must not be, so the 25, if you're not on the list, the shortage occupation list, the income must not be less than 25,600 or the going rate. Now, if your job is on the shortage occupation list, the minimum income is in fact quite a bit lower. It's £20,480, or 80%, no, of the going rate, whichever is the higher. No? So if you satisfy the issue of income, there you would get again the additional 20 points, and that will then make up the 70 points na kailangan nyo. Now, on top of that, they want to also ensure that you're able to support yourself in the UK when you initially come here, and that means that they want to see na nasa bangko nyo finances. And you must have no less than £1,270 sa bangko nyo 28 days prior to the submission of the application. Now, you have to add certain amounts in relation to family, kung dadalhin nyo sila. So, for any partner, you need a further £285. For the first child, for one child, £315. Any subsequent children, £200. No. Now, if you don't have those monies, it could be that you can get your employer to certify that indeed those are that you're able to support yourself in the UK without recourse to public funds. Now, on top of that, there's something called suitability. Now, they just that at the simplest level, it means no criminal record. No, if you have criminal record or you were in the United Kingdom, say as an overstayer, that could prevent you from getting a visa under the skilled worker route. So, just to recap now, so we're looking at kailangan nyo costs. No, the certificate of sponsorship, which just means a job, okay? And your sponsor must be licensed. And if you need to check, and you should always check when you get an offer of a job and they say they're bringing you back in, have a look at the Home Office website. And as I say, there are in excess of 32,000 employers that are noted. It's quite a long list, so tignan nyo. The next thing, as I've said, is points. No less than 70 points ang kailangan nyo. And that can be made up by the 50 mandatory points. Kailangan sponsorship, job is at appropriate level, and English language. And then on top of that, your income, and hopefully that all then equate to 70 points in total. And if you're compliant now with that, then the next thing to look at is money. Okay, so you must make sure that you have enough money before you make the application, because you need to be able to show it 28 days prior to the submission of the application, unless you get the certification from your employer. And then on top of that, suitability, so wala nga yung criminal background, or indeed immigration background can also cause an issue. If that is all okay, then you may well then be granted a visa under the new skilled worker route. No, that came into play on the 1st of December 2020. And that means that you'll be able to come into the UK, pero you remember, you are limited. So yung trabaho nyo, you're only allowed to work for that employer generally. Okay? But of course, it means also that you have the possibility of applying later on, once you've completed 5 years nga dito, on that basis, for indefinite leave to remain, for settlement status, which of course would be good and will give you the freedom, and it means that you will no longer be tied to that employer. So during that time, kung kailangan yung lumabas, you want to go on holiday, you're allowed, and you can come back into the UK, hindi yung kailangan panibagong visa. But again, as most visas of a kind of temporary nature, no, kung mawala yung trabaho nyo, they can curtail your visa. If you want to change jobs, you mustn't forget you need to make a new application nga, because it doesn't carry over. Okay, you can't just swap your jobs. So be careful, because there are limits nga to the skilled worker route visa. But it's nevertheless a good visa to have. It would be better if the Home Office, if the government implemented all of Mac's report suggestions, proposals. So it's a bit of a pity, as I say, na hindi nila ginilagay lahat, and that particularly relates to senior care workers, especially given the shortage. We have a good people who care for the vulnerable in the United Kingdom, especially given the pandemic that we're obviously all going through. So it's I think it's a missed opportunity. Hopefully, it's an opportunity they will take up in the future, but for the moment, wala nga doon. So it's a bit complex, and it's quite niggly with details when you're making an application. So just be careful, no? So look at your documents. Make sure that your documents now are complete before you submit it. You make sure nga your employer mo that they actually they have a sponsorship license. If they say, oh, meron kaming sponsorship license, but they're not on the list, then you have to be careful that they're actually telling you the whole thing. So be mindful, as I say, of the details. Having said that, if you satisfy you and indeed your family, and by that I mean children under 18, husband or wife, or anyone that you've been living with minimum of 2 years, and you can prove it, can come to the UK as your dependents, and of course, and hopefully enjoy life in the UK. And your dependent spouse or husband has no limit as to the type of employment that they can undertake, which of course is great news. And mga bata, of course, they can study in the United Kingdom. So hopefully it will help people. I think, as I say, it's just a bit of a shame, really, that they've decided not to expand it to the recommendation, the full recommendation of MAC, because I think that would have it's missed opportunity from my point of view. But nevertheless, it's hopefully going to help a lot of people.
Okay, attorney, no? Ayan. So medyo malungkot do sa no, na yung mga senior care workers hindi kasama. Ano ang mga most of the jobs na pwedeng sa palagay mo papasok ang mga Pilipino? Math teachers yata kasama yata, di ba? Mga teachers.
Yeah, so nurses, for example.
Nurses, as always pa rin.
Oh, was there. So nurses, actually my laptop now comes in handy. So for teachers, let's just have a look here. Teachers, so that comes under further education teaching professionals. Yeah, teachers. Now let me just have a look here.
Math and science yata. Ano ko rin
eh. They're generally not there. Okay, they're not on the shortage occupation list. They're on the list, no? So you can still come make an application.
Which one? Ano yan, attorney? Ano yung nasa list?
Yeah.
Teachers.
So
teachers.
Yeah, teachers. Yeah, so teachers for
math and science, di ba?
Yeah. No.
Hindi ba naka-specify?
Well,
hindi.
Yeah.
Okay. Kasi yun ang shortage natin dito, di ba? Yung mga ganyan, no?
Yeah. Yun na nga eh. So what is on the list is secondary. For example, secondary education teaching professionals. So some teachers nga. So So it's secondary school teachers. So it may well be to do with maths nga dito.
Mga
Yung
high school
ibang,
yan, oo.
So there are few still on the list. So for example, nga social workers are certainly on the list, no?
Really? Mga social
There-
workers, ha?
social
Oo.
workers on the list. Paramedics are on the list,
Oo.
no? So a few people nga are on the list. Oddly, let me just have a look here. There was also
Paramedics?
okay.
Pwede ba mga Filipinos diyan sa paramedics? Pero
Paramedics,
parang
yeah.
wala pa akong, may narinig na ba tayong napasok dito as a paramedic na Pinoy?
Usually tayo, that's not really where we go, ano? Mainly tayo I think nurses nga, at saka carers, no? And that of course includes senior care workers. Now for some, so for example, what I can't really understand, no, senior care workers are not on the list, but welders are. Okay?
Welders.
So,
Oo. Pero
welders,
may nabasa ko, attorney, na ang lower, kanyari, yung mga skill level, binaba na. Any job offered to a skilled worker must meet at least level 3 of the regulated qualification framework or RQF. Whereas previously, they have to meet the level 6 RQF standard, no? Ngayon, bumaba ngayon. Parang bumaba. And yet, hindi nila tinanggap yung mga senior care workers, no? But biglang tinanggal. Would you know, are you privy to it? Bakit nila tinanggal yan?
Well, I mean, it's I think it's probably a political issue, no? They're probably concerned nga na maraming taong papasok nga dito, and they want to limit immigration in the United Kingdom, and for whatever reason, nakala nila that would be better to limit, which doesn't actually, as I say, it doesn't make any sense, no? Because carers, I mean, never mind senior carers, but carers generally, there's a huge demand for carers. That in the United Kingdom, where the population is getting older, and there are quite a few vulnerable people in them, and clearly the care homes are very much in need. Tapos ito na, of course, we're exiting EU, no? 31st of December, and from there, by all accounts, we're going to lose quite a lot of people who are working as carers. Alis nga sila. So it's baffling to me na hindi nila inilagay yung senior care workers. So I can only imagine that somehow it's a political issue. Maybe and I hope that this is the case na they want to kind of wait and see after we Brexited, no? And then, because they can always add to the list, and they can always take away from the list. So I'm hoping that they may well be waiting to see, okay, ano bang mangyayari pagka wala na tayo sa EU, no? Is the shortage for carers is going to get worse? But yung hindi ko maintindihan, there's already a shortage, you see. So it just does not make any sense to me that they should not be included. Whereas, as I've said, welders are included on the shortage occupation list. It's
Baka marami tayong mga construction, mga baka gas pipes na gagawin. I don't know kung bakit nila kailangan yan. Okay, 2 questions lang nasa one. Gusto ko lang, dalawang bagay lang gusto kong banggitin doon sa diniscuss mo lang, no? Gusto ko lang parang bigyan lang ng pansin. One is yung mga nurses halimbawa sa iba't ibang lugar dito sa Europe, no, mga European citizens na, probably they have a difficult time or difficult way of becoming nurses in their respective countries, no? Let's say France, Italy, Spain. Maganda sana dito sana, no? They could, because they are Europeans, it could be easier for them rather than coming from from abroad, from the Philippines, for example. Although they would still need yung kanilang parang siguro an offer from di ba, from an employer, pero mas madali na, no? Pero ngayon, after pagdating ng 1st of January onwards, they are now the citizens, Filipino citizens who are citizens of other European countries are now, in a way, in effect, are you saying, attorney, on equal footing with nurses coming from the Philippines? Parang pare-pareho sila ng category na parang they're coming in as as tier 2 workers na, no?
Yeah, yeah. You got it in one actually, Sonny. Tama yun. It's probably for some people it's difficult to
Wala nang
comprehend.
advantage, no?
Yeah, we've been in the EU for decades. I think 50 years. I think, or at least 40. We've been in the EU, so it's and certainly that's a lifetime for the younger generation. So, but yeah, it's exactly that. The Brexit means those people who are from EU, will be coming in and will be treated for them in the main on equal footing, as you say, As say a nurse who's coming in post, a nurse sabihin natin, a nurse, Filipino nurse nasa sa Germany sabihin natin, and in Germany, she's a qualified nurse. She wants to come into the United Kingdom, and from the 1st of January, this now applies. So she will need to make an application as a skilled worker. It's under the skilled worker route in the very much the same way as a nurse coming in from the Philippines.
Ang mga nurses ba from another country, for example, Germany, di ba, because we were part of the EU, we were still part until the 31st of December. Pero before ba, because di ba pagka sa EU ka, member ka, the free movement, okay? Your child would have the same rights or privileges or whatever, in another European country. You can start businesses anywhere in Europe because you're an EU citizen. So the advantage there for an EU citizen Filipino, darating dito, they can go straight away and apply for jobs, if they're qualified, di ba? Wala nang mga Cheche Boreche, hindi ka mukha ng, di ba?
Yeah.
Oo.
I mean, just on that, actually, Sonny. I mean, I've been speaking about this over the last few weeks, So, especially those mga viewers natin from Europe, If you're looking to come into the United Kingdom with the view to settling in the United Kingdom, then for goodness sake, come in before the 31st of December. So, ano na tayo ngayon? We are the 16 or 17 na. 17 tayo, 17 December. So, you have, 13, 14 days, 2 weeks, to come in. So, kung yun ang plano nyo, you need to come in now.
Now, oo.
Now.
May panahon pa, parang kung gusto mo mag-strategize, kasi as soon as it becomes January 1, wala na. Para ka ng ordinaryong tier 2 applicant na, di ba?
Yeah, so
mas mahirap na.
So taking that a little bit further, so sabihin natin you nasa Germany ka or Italy, European country. Matagal ka na you have you're European. In the Philippines, you qualified as a nurse. Pero mahirap nga lang partly because of the language and maybe other things nga, you've not been able to qualify or re-qualify nga, say in Germany or Italy, But you want to do that. You want to practice your profession. Okay? Now, my advice would be, kung yung gusto nyong gawin, then come into the United Kingdom now, if you're looking to settle in the UK, so before the 31st of December. And then when you're in the United Kingdom, you then need to make an application for what's called pre-settlement status under the settlement scheme route, So then you will have status nga at least to be able to work in the UK. And so, hindi nyo na kailangan, that means this skilled worker route, because you will be treated as EU nationals
as EU national.
Yeah, so you don't need a permit now to work. You can do whatever work you want to do, and you can study. So yung nurse na yun, if he or she wants to qualify in the UK, they can do two things. And a lot of my clients do this. They work and they study at the same time. And a lot of hospitals and indeed care homes, they encourage that. So you're studying, but you're getting paid at the same time with the view to you qualifying. So kung yun ang plano nyo, you want to qualify in the UK and you want to practice now your profession as a nurse, for example, then come in now. If you're European national, you should come in now. Because otherwise, after the 31st of December, iba na pong batas. no? And it's considerably more restricted.
Alam mo,
So,
totoo yan. Mas mahal, attorney, mas mataas ang bayad dito because ang dami kong kilala mga nag-care worker sa Spain. Dito na sila, no? Ang layo ng diferensya ng sweldo, ang layo. Malaki talaga rito sa UK. And that's the reason why would like sana to encourage yung ating mga kababayans from, anywhere in Europe na, pumasok dito dahil andi dito yung magagandang trabaho. Wala ka ng problema sa language. Maski paano, we were growing up, di ba? Grade school, high school, college. English ang salita natin. Siguro konti na lang adjustment rather than comparing, say, learning another European language, no? Yung kumbaga, mas may advantage ka na sa English, no?
yeah.
Oo.
And you see, ito din eh. Kung yun ang plano nyo, no? Hindi nyo nga lang alam, hindi ko sigurado, maybe, dahil matagal na kayo sa sabihin natin, Germany or Italy or Spain, matagal na kayo doon, and you have made friends there, you're not really sure kung gusto nyo iwanan nga lahat yun, but you want to see about living and working in the United Kingdom. So, ang payo ko, do it, no? And do it before the 31st of December. If things don't work out, and sometimes nga things don't always work out as you would want them to be, you can always leave anyway. No, you can go back and they can pick up where you left off. At least you've tried. Yeah. Because I am concerned about the skilled worker route, and I'm very concerned about Brexit, because I do think we're going to not just lose very good workers, no, especially in the medical field, but also I think it will deter people who are in that field and others really to from Europe to come into the UK, because they have to now make an application for visa.
I've been doing this the SONNY LARAGAN show, no, and co-hosting frontliners all over Europe. And it's really a revelation. I found out talagang hirap pala, no. A lot of our kababayan, say in Spain, in Italy, and even France, no, they'd like to be nurses. They'd like to practice their professions kasi at the moment, what they're doing is they're cleaning houses. Alam mo na, linis ng bahay, ganyan. Although malaki-laki din ang sweldo. In fact, sa France yata, mas malaki pa ang sweldo sa bahay, linis sa bahay compared do sa pagiging nurse. Dito, maganda ang sweldo maski paano ng mga nurses. And nung malaman ko yan, I really, parang naawa ako, sabi ko, ba't di na lang kayo pumunta rito? Dito na lang kayo di ba? Welcome kayo rito, mas maganda, mas maraming Pilipino, mas okay, di ba? So, yun ang ating goal. Sana, no? We'd like to let them know, dito na kayo, punta ka na kayo kagad dito. In fact, marami naman nakapasok na Di lang siguro nila nabalitaan. I know of so many, sila Rafa, marami akong kilala, si Klein. Ito yung mga carers sa ibang bansa, sa Spain. Pero now, they're doing well dito. Mas malaki sweldo. And even comparing like to like, yung trabaho sa bahay, yung let's say naglilinis o ganyan, comparing it sa isang nasa Spain, no, mas mataas dito. Mas malaking kinikita rito. Kaya, at saka, di ba? Well, anyway. So, isa pang tanong ko lang. Yung sinasabing, pwede na bandalin right away pagka, let's say, pumasok ka sa Tier 2? If you qualify for the Tier 2 thing, you've all the requirements, no, you're okay with those. Can you bring your family together with you as soon as you land to when you come over? Pwede na ba isama yan?
Yeah. So, wala na yung Tier 2, okay? That's now been replaced by the skilled worker route. So,
skilled worker route, sorry. Yeah.
Skilled worker route. So, the answer is yes, no? So,
pwede na.
Yeah. You can make an application also for your family. I mean, they mean just limited family. So, ang mga anak, but under 18, and spouse, it can also be an unmarried spouse, but that's a bit more difficult to prove na talaga nagsasama nga kayo. But if you're married to your husband or wife nga, then that should be fine. So, yeah, kung hindi mo sila kailangang iwanan, no?
Civil partner. At saka may nabasa ako, attorney, durable spouse. Durable partner yata. Durable is meaning 2 years yata na nagsama kayo? If you could prove, no?
Taon. Yeah.
Durable.
So if you're looking at partners nga or spouse, so the simplest way is, of course, kung kasal ka, so your spouse, you're married, if you're civil partnership, no, or you have been in a relationship akin to marriage and it's a minimum nga of 2 years. So I should say durable partnership. Usually, mga kliyente ko, it's especially kung galing nga si Pinas, usually kasal nga sila. So, and then of course yung children, no? They should be under the age of 18 nga when they're coming into the UK, and they must be obviously dependent on you. Just beware, kung kukunin mo sila din, dadalhin mo sila dito, the money that you need to show that you have in your account goes up a little bit. Yeah? So, it would be, kung ikaw nga lang, finances, ang kailangan pakita, £1,270. Mag-isa ka nga lang.
That's the skilled worker route, ha? Papunta pa lang dito, you have to show that you have that money.
28 days prior to the application. Unless you get the certification from your employer, and a lot of people just get the certification nga. Pero kung wala kayo noon, then £1,270 minimum you need to have in your account 28 days prior. Now, kung dadali mo ang partner mo, then there's an additional £285, no? Now, if you have one child, then there's an additional £315, and subsequent children would be £200. Now, so you have to have that money, okay, in your account. Or, as I say, get certification out from your employer that you're able to support yourself in the UK, which is 90% of the time, actually, that is what happens.
Dahil yun ang sweldo mo, di ba? You will be getting your salary from the whoever hired you naman, di ba? So doon naman magagaling ang pera mo, di ba? So
yeah.
okay.
So if you're on the higher level, and your income now is over even the going rate, then usually it's not a problem. You should just get simply a certification. But beware. But so those people who are looking to do that, to make an application in the skilled worker route, okay, pasok na sila dito on that basis, yeah? Dalhin nila ang asawa nila. Yung asawa nila pwede magtrabaho kung ano man, no? No limit as to the type of job that they can undertake in hours. Kung gusto ayaw nila magtrabaho, gusto na mag-aral, hindi nga problema. And the children, of course, can study in the United Kingdom. So, although yung applicant nga would be limited as to the type of employment he or she can take up, yung asawa niya hindi, which means that you would then have two incomes, no? You'll be a two-income family in the United Kingdom, and your children can of course study here. So it's a good route.
Yeah, maganda yan, no? Maganda yan. Sana yung mga Pinoy na nandito, sana bago nagsarado tong itong magsasarado na yung UK, sana nakapasok na kayo dahil maski paano, most of the people would like to come over to the UK, di ba? Bakit ba sila nagpapakamating dyan sa may, ano ba yung pangalan yan? Dyan sa may France, kung saan meron silang parang, andun yung lahat ng mga iba-ibang lahi, gusto sumakay sa truck, sa mga lorry, sa mga kung ano-anong, di ba, napapunta rito. Oo, di ba, nagpapakamatay pa sila dyan sa may English Channel, makatawid dito, every day yata, merong landing, di ba? Kaya galit na galit sila, sino ba yung, basta galit, di ba, almost every day may landing ng mga dumarating na mga hindi naman refugees yun how would you call them? They would just want to like to para mga economic migrants, no? Di ba? Parang gusto makarating dito.
They're making applications as refugees. I mean, it's a very sad situation, or can be very sad na immigration, and people can be they're driven to do desperate things sometimes. But the good thing is for those who want to come into the United Kingdom to work, no, kung meron kayong qualifications, and as long as those qualifications come under the list, no, the general list, it doesn't have to be shortage occupation list, then you can potentially make an application and enter the United Kingdom as a skilled worker, and this the skilled worker route, no, previously yung tier 2. So so the first thing, as I say, is tingnan nyo, what is your, maybe even before looking for a job tingnan nyo anong qualifications nyo, and if your qualifications fit, especially if it's shortage occupation, absolutely. If it's something you want to try out for you and your family, you should absolutely do it.
But if you're a European citizen, wala ka ng problema. You don't have to satisfy all of those mga skills. Go any job na you can find and you get hired. For the next 2 weeks.
kung wala ka dito.
Nahulog tuloy. Hindi, nahulog yung aking ano.
Yeah.
2 weeks kasi nagulat ako kasi ang bilis niyan, di ba? Sayang, no? Di ba? Pinagtagal-tagal pa nila, no?
Yeah.
Kaya kailangan nakahabol-habol na. Anyway, attorney, magbe-break muna tayo, ha? Oh, yes.
Ano ba?
Hindi, magbe-break muna tayo. May sasabihin ka ba? Ano, may pahabol na sinasabi ka?
No, that's great. Well,
Okay,
we'll check
let's
it
have
out.
a short break. O kami, magbe-break muna kami. No? Huwag ko kayo nga alis. Saglit po lamang. At pagbalik natin, tuloy-tuloy. We will be, guys, no? Andrew will be entertaining your questions now, no? When we come back, no? We're now ready for your questions. Open forum na ho tayo. Pagbalik natin, huwag ko kayo alis.
O ayan, halos lahat meron na.
What about David?
Alam ko na. Kapag napadala tayo ng pera sa Pinas, gamit ang World Remit, pwede tayong manalo ng Grain Smart pangkabuhayan package worth 200,000 pesos. May bigasan, tablet na nakasetup na for bill payment business. At may kasama pang online training session. O di ba? Pwede nang magsari-sari store. Magpadala na gamit ang World Remit bago December 31st para manalo ng pangarap nyong pangkabuhayan para sa pamilya nyo sa Pinas ngayong Pasko.
During these trying times, we salute the frontliners who are tirelessly caring for all of us against the COVID-19. To all the courageous nurses, doctors, carers, and paramedics at the NHS, words are not enough to thank you. We at Highlight Express International are here to support you back with a full semester 10% discount when you send your balikbayan boxes to your family in the Philippines. Dahil ang Highlight Express International ay para sa pamilya.
Okay, tuloy-tuloy tayo sa ating programa, no? Meron ho tayo munang anunsyo rito, no? Ito ho, free money transfers to the Philippines with Skrill money transfers at exchange rates you will love. With Skrill money transfer, you can send money straight to a bank account or GCash wallet completely for free. Sign up online at Skrill.com or download their mobile app today. Skrill Money Transfer. Free money transfers at a very competitive exchange rate. Ayan. Yan, Skrill, no? May Skrill. Attorney, good evening once again. Ayan, si Attorney, nako, ito, namimiss natin talaga si Attorney pagka di ba? Yung mga advice na about immigration. Ayan, meron ka bang pamilya sa Pilipinas pa, Attorney? May pinapadalan pa ng pera? Marami tayo. World Remit, Skrill, ayan, no?
Yeah.
Oo, meron pang isang gusto pumasok yata sa ating but thank you very much. Okay, babatiin ko lang yung mga pagbati-bati lang dito, no. Itong si Evelyn Villapaz, Whitrod, no. Nanonood sa atin. Of course, Andrew Hudson and ano ba to? Si Maris Lutero Lauro. Ayan. Tinatanggalin ko nga yung salamin ko. Hindi ko makita. Si Dan Delmo Cristobas Esparagosa. Ba, ang ganda ng pangalan ito, Attorney.
Wow.
Esparagosa, haba, no? Dang Delmo Cristobas Esparagosa. Si, Nilenej. Ba't ganyan mga pangalan binabaligtad, no? Nilenej Atabal Ashraf. Nonood sa atin. Thank you very much. You're watching, ha? Ton Velbun is watching with us, no? Magandang, ayan. Nabasa na ba natin yung pagbati ni Attorney, ni Evelyn Rafael, Attorney?
Ata po, yeah.
Nabasa na ba natin? Okay.
Marami tayong panibagong mga viewers, no? So it's so kind of to join us.
Yes. Naku, nakakatuwa naman. Sila, si Lydia Ilagan, ayan, no? Lirto Valero Fami, ito yung presidente ng Cabiteños UK, no? Founder. Celia Valientes, no? Teka muna, tapos may tanong dito muna, basahin lang natin 'tong tanong. May tanong, no? Si Joe Cruz. Joe, mabuhay ka, no? Yung ating kaibigan si Joe Cruz, no? Ayan, may tanong si Andrew dito, Hudson. He's got a question, Attorney, no? Ito.
Okay.
Here's the question. Ayan, tignan mo nga. Can you read the question? Dali, hindi pa. Wala pa.
Okay. Wala pa.
Sandali, ha? Wala pa. Ito. Ayan. Can you read this? Ayan. From Andrew Hudson. Yeah.
So, hi, can you advise on the way forward for a British student currently in the UK but enrolled at a university in Manila and currently unable to enter Philippines due to...
Baliktad pala yan. It's the other way around, no? It's back... do you have any idea, Attorney? It's an embassy yata. That should be the embassy's province, so to speak, no?
So I mean, let's see. Andrew, unfortunately, it's not. It's not. In fact, my field as such. Because
Andrew, it's
English law, really. But let's just see here. Now, I mean, firstly, if you certainly the Philippine Embassy website may be able to assist. But let's just see if we can point you in the right direction at least. So the problem is that a British student currently in the United Kingdom
enrolled in the Philippines,
but the Philippines, and unable because of restrictions, because of presumably COVID, no? I mean, you'll probably find that the COVID restrictions are far more strict, no, in the Philippines. So I'm not surprised that they've not been allowed back in for the moment. I can't be specific, sadly. But
it's not it's the other way around. It should be somebody from the embassy or somebody from the Philippines, no? I don't know kung may matatawagan ba tayo. Hindi bale, next tatawagan nga natin yung mga nasa Pilipinas. We'll try to call them next time. We will try to do that. O nga pala, you gave me an idea. You gave me an idea pala, no? I should come up on my show, call up the Philippines siguro pagka no? Kaya lang madaling araw pa ngayon, wala pang gising dun.
But I tell you what, also, Andrew, because I'll try and assist now. It's not my field by far. But if you email me, and my email will come up later on.
Let's put up your email. Sige, para if he wants to ask you anything, no, ayan, email you, okay?
Yeah.
There it is.
So email me. So my last name, CABATBAT, at douglas-simon.com. Douglas with 2 S. So if you email me your question, so I don't forget it, I'm able to also reply to you. I'm likely able to put you in touch with someone who will know better than I the answer to your question. I suspect they will probably say, well, restrictions are restrictions, but maybe they'll be able to provide you with a little bit more detail, and if we're lucky, maybe an indication when that's likely to change. So it must be quite concerning. I'm sorry that you or your family or friend is in that position.
Okay, well, okay. Ayan, may additional time. Okay, let's go ahead with our greetings, no, attorney, just to acknowledge this, yung ating mga viewers, no? Dahil, syempre, sila yung ating mga, no, laging nandiyan dyan, no?
Yeah.
Okay, ito, si MM, uy, si MM. MM.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
hi, good evening.
Let me just say something, Sonny.
Yes,
Yesterday, the day before, she gave me bagoong.
Oh,
She said, yeah. I was
bagong
so
alamang. Bagong alamang ba yan, yung alamang?
Hindi
O
ko
yung
alam.
pure bagong,
Even-
na isda?
Yeah, pure bagoong. And no, not just that, spicy bagoong. No?
Wow,
I've only
talaga.
had spicy bagoong once. I don't know if you've had it. It's delicious. So, sabi ko nga sa kanya, that evening, and I was going to have it with some rice at saka kamatis. And I did.
Wow.
So, thank you so
Wow.
much, Miss Giling. It was delicious.
Ayan, oh. Nako, ako kailan kaya ako makakatanggap ng may alamang eh. Naalala ko kasi hindi ko matandaan yung ulam na. Yun. This weekend, nagano kami kare-kare, attorney. Kasi yung aking partner, basta naisip niya, gusto ko magkare-kare. So we went to North End. Alam mo yung North End dito, I don't know kung familiar ka sa North End. Meron kasi diyan butcher eh. May butcher diyan at saka diyan din yung ng isda. Na may isda rin. May parang instead of going to Harlesden or going to Billingsgate, meron sa North End dito sa may. Is North End a part of Fulham or Hammersmith? Hammersmith
I don't know.
Oo, pero
I
Fulham.
would
Siguro
probably
Hammersmith, Fulham. Sabihin na lang natin, Fulham, Hammersmith, hindi ko sigurado. But any of the two, no? Kasi naman yan, isang borough yan, isang magkasama yan. Borough of Hammersmith and Fulham yan eh. Anyway, so ayun, nagkari-kari kami tapos naalala ko yung sinasabi mong bagong masarap eh. So MM, good evening ha. Mabuhay ka ha. Mabuhay ka MM.
Salamat po.
Salamat daw ha. Salamat sa yung napakasarap na ba tawag dito na bagoong. Ayan, sa kaya spicy pa ha, attorney ha. Grabe.
Yeah.
Donalyn Williams. Hello, good evening to you both. And hello, mga kabayan. Donalyn. Yeah, mabuhay ka, Donalyn. Ayan. Si Donalyn Williams. Ang ganda na apelido niya, Williams. No? Parang singer. Parang si
Yeah, I like her first name actually, Donalyn.
Donalyn,
Yeah,
no? Donalyn Williams. Yes, it's nice. Donalyn, di ba? Virginia Smith. Oh, happy Star Day. Wow. Kuya Sunny and Attorney Lira, both of you are stars of tonight. And advanced, Merry Christmas to all. Ayan, nga naman. Ilang araw na lang ba? Today's the 17th, so attorney, how many days more? 8 days more. Di ba?
8
Tama
days.
ba? Naku, parang,
Yep.
hindi pa natin nabibili yung mga regalo natin dahil, Diyos ko. Hirap umikot, hirap
Yeah,
naku.
8 days.
8
Oh,
days more.
I can't wait for 2020 to end.
Oo nga.
In a horrible.
It's been horrible.
Yeah.
It's been horrible. Pero surprisingly, to some people who were not having good jobs in 2020, prior to the pandemic, nagkaroon ng some people have made it, Ang daming nagkaroon ng, a lot of jobs, new jobs sprouted, by way of the internet, online. Marami na ngayong negosyante, no? Pero siyempre, of course, because of necessity yun. Kaya siguro wala nang hanap buhay, kaya nagkaroon ng ganun, no? Pero yun nga, ang pangit ng 2020 natin, no? Hindi tayo, kamukha, itong Pasko. Although they still will have to go ahead with yung kasi nasabi na 23 to 27, ilang families yung pwede magsama-sama, attorney?
Oh, I can't even keep up with the rules nga. No, I think it's 3. No?
3, parang 3 bubbles, 3 families yan, di ba? Na po pwede, no? Pero the experts, medical experts are advising against it dahil sabi nga nila baka na naman magkaroon na naman ulit tayo ng di ba? Ng another surge, baka magkaroon na naman ng spike na naman, no? Kaya hindi mo malaman, it's a balance between, di ba, life and yung togetherness and jobs and marami ang hirap eh. This is the worst, 'di ba, experience of our lives, no? Hindi naman natin na-experience to nung araw eh. Before, no? Wala, ngayon lang to.
Yeah.
Kaya
No, I mean,
I
it's
couldn't wait.
someone was actually telling me, if you give star ratings to years, 2020 would be at best star rating 1,
Oo, wow. Ay, teka muna, ito, andali ha. Ato, may bumabati. Good evening po, si Idel Loner. Idel, ha? Hi, yan, si Idel. Ito, Idel, bukas ha, sa Sabado pala manood kayo. 5,000 pesos na yung pamimigay natin sa Sabado Panalo. At syempre, dayan na hatid sa inyo na World Remit. Magpadala kayo sa World Remit ha. Makakahabol pa kayo. Attorney, may nanalo na, pinamigay na nila 1 million pesos na. Ito yung mga
Wow.
pangkabuhayan packages. Yes, attorney. Ito, 5 tao nanalo. Ito, papakita ko yung mga pangalan nila. They won, 200,000 pesos each, Grain Smart franchise. All they had to do was send money via World Remit, and then they joined the raffle. May link yan eh. Puntahan lang nyo yung pangkabuhayan. worldremit.com/pangkabuhayan. Rosa May Rolander, Emily Anastabas, Enyo Santorame, Mayvon Morales, Ana Lu Suwa. They were the ones who won. May dalawang nasa Europe nanalo. Isa yatang taga Sweden. Hindi ko alam kung Sweden o Norway. Isang taga UK. So hopefully sana makapanayan pa natin pala yan. Dapat pala kausapin ko pala si Janice, no? Okay, ito pa mga pagbati sa atin. Maraming mga bumabati sa atin eh. So thank you very much, no? Ito si Heidi Hinabe Hilen. Is she new? Bago ba to? Happy Thursday po, attorney. Ha?
Hindi ko makita. Hindi ko sila
Ay,
makita.
wala ba? Sorry. Oo nga pala. Hindi pala naisama siya. Okay, ito yan, basahin mo. Sige, pakibasa na, attorney. Sige, ikaw. Para ikaw na taga-basa, ako taga-lagay.
This is from Heidi Hinabe Hilen. Happy Thursday po, attorney, and Sir Laragan. God bless you both. Oh, salamat po.
Wow,
Thank you
mabuhay.
for watching. Yeah.
Thank you.
This
Ayan, ito.
lovely family.
Lovely family, tama ka. Ayan, lovely family. Ayan.
Oh, Miss Paner, thank you so much for watching. So, look, thank you, Lord. Tapos na po ako sa lahat. Pasko na yung life in the UK and my B1 test exam. Well
Why?
done.
Wow, well done. Well done.
Well
Ano ba? Kilala mo ba, attorney?
Yeah, well, familiar, shall we say. But, the life in the UK test.
Oh,
is,
mahirap yan, ha?
Hirap yun. So,
Mahirap yan.
truly,
Oo, mahirap yan.
well done, no? It's so many people just don't pass the life in the UK test. At saka mas mahirap na ngayon by comparison to, say, 2 years ago or 5 years ago. So, well done po. It's,
Nakuha ko yan, Nakuha ko yan, 15 years ago. Oh.
Talaga?
Oo, mga 2005
how did
yata,
you
attorney. 2006. Ha?
How did you find it? Can you remember?
Well, I was reviewing using a booklet na ganyan naka very, thin lang yung libro eh. Life in the UK, kulay blue. So I had to buy it.
Oo.
Buti nga ngayon, meron na yata sila mga mock test na pang-practice eh. Nung araw, hindi eh. I had to really read it, Talagang binabasa ko talaga. And it was an eye-opener, attorney, kasi alam mo na yung iba't ibang saints sa bawat country. We have 4 countries. Northern Ireland, Wales, England, and Scotland. Alam mo rin yung mga batches kung paano nagdatingan yung mga immigrants, yung mga Irish muna, working in the railroads, Indians working sa mga textile companies, mga from West Indies working as bus conductors or drivers yata, ganun. So may mga wave ng pagdating dito eh. So pinag-aaralan lahat yun. No? Maraming It was an eye-opener nga. In fact, yung mga British mismo, pag nag-exam sila, babagsak sila ron eh. hindi rin nila alam.
Mahirap yun. So truly, those people who pass it,
Kamukha niya,
absolutely kudos to them. That it is truly not an easy test. And I don't think I've actually encountered anyone recently who said na hindi problema. So well done.
Well done. Teka muna, may B1. Ba't may B1 na ngayon?
Well, it doesn't have to be the B1. It can. Actually, no, it is the B1. Sorry, my apologies. No, it is the B1. There's the English language, no. But B1 is not.
English. Okay, English language.
Yeah.
Para ngayon, pag nagkumuha ka ngayon ng nung araw, pagka nag-theory exam ka sa driving. Dati, theory exam lang. Ngayon, meron lang ano eh. Ano ba? May kadugtong pa yun eh. Dalawang exam ang kukunin mo sa on the same day eh.
Oral, no?
Hindi oral.
So,
Hindi, written yun. Pero dalawang klase eh. Yung regular na theory exam at hazard perception test yata. Hindi ko alam kung nagbago na ha.
no,
Kasi ang
hindi
alam ko,
alam.
nagbago yun eh. Inabot ko pa yung ano lang eh, yung exam lang eh, no? Yung ano pangalan niyan, yun lang, yung theory exam, no? So, yan.
So well
Okay,
done again, Mr. Taga.
Yes,
Very
well done,
well
Miss ano. Oo, yan, Paner. Okay. Uy, si Maria Teresa Javier. Hello, Sonny. Sabi niya, from
Oh, wow.
California, USA. Uy, mabuhay ka.
Oh, I'm
Maria
so jealous.
Teresa.
From California.
Oo nga, California. Anong part kaya siya ng California? Malaki California eh. When you say California, when you say state of, di ba, yung Washington State, di ba? Washington, kasi Seattle. Ayan. Uy,
Yes, California is beautiful. The whole of California, really.
the whole of California. Mabuhay ka, Maria Teresa Javier. Naku, nakakatuwa naman yan. Sana nasa mabuti kang kalagayan, Maria. Pero Maria ba pangalan mo? Di ba ang pangalan, ano ba pangalan niya? Ba't Maria? Ano ba pangalan? Okay, Maria Teresa, no? Marites,
Yeah,
Marites. Maria. Kasi pag ganyan, Maria Teresa, ang usually nickname niya, Marites, di ba? Marites. Life
look.
in... ito. Si
So
Superman.
Edgar, he's one of the very few. So life in
What's
the
so
UK was
easy? Sabi niya.
informative.
Very
So,
informative. Alam mo, nakakatuwa dyan sa exam na yan. Naalala ko, nag-last minute ako. Yung bang, di bang bigla kasi silip ng last minute ba? May last minute kang Alam mo, nasilip ko ron at lumabas ko sa exam ko. Yung bang, mga trabaho ng mga bata pag wala silang pasok. One of those, yung nag-deliver sila ng mga newspapers.
Yeah, so
News agents, may mga ganun-ganun pa eh. Nabasa ko yun eh. Yun ang tiyempo-tiyempo. Kaya ako na-perfect ko yung exam. Kasi nga dun eh.
well done.
Naalala ko yung one particular, nabasa ko lang eh. So, meron na, di ba, nasa computer, parang terminal, tapos mag-exam ka. Pero ayun, nakakatuwa yan. Di ba, yung iba nga eh, parang ayaw nilang mag-life in the UK. Parang dati courses lang yata eh, pag may edad yata, attorney, di ba? Tapos pasado na. Para lang may certificate ka.
Yeah.
And then you...
Yeah,
Diba?
yun na nga. So, kung magpapasok yung application for naturalization, no, just bear in mind, it's also something that some people don't know about. So, if you are over age 65, no, then hindi nyo kailangan, no, you're exempt. Also, if you have...
ngayon, exempted na 65? Over 65, attorney?
5 plus, opo. Yeah. So, if you're 66, you don't need to worry about the life in the UK nga. Also, if you have medical condition, no, that stops you, prevents you nga from sitting the exam, then you may also be exempt. So don't be put off, especially kung sapat na yung edad nyo. You should still have a go. But those of you who are not exempt nga, life in the UK definitely kailangan, and the English language kailangan nyo if you're making an application for naturalization. But for most people, it's really the life in the UK mas mahirap. The B1 English language usually not an issue.
Congratulations kay doon sa sino yung kanina yung no?
Yeah, Miss
B1
Paner,
tsaka
yeah.
life in the Miss Paner,
Yeah.
no? Life in the UK test.
Yeah. Done well.
Okay. Ito si Edgardo Cagahasyan. Attorney, baka gusto mong basahin. Sige.
Okay. Hello. Good evening, Mr. Enriquez. Edgardo. So, sabi nito, good evening, Mr. Sonny and Attorney Lira. Happy Thursday to everyone. Happy Thursday po. Paano if UK working permit has been issued to an applicant in the Philippines, in Pinas, but due to the pandemic, the UK employer decided not to continue the employment? Can the person ask for compensation? You will find it quite difficult, no? I mean, you can try. Ang problema nga lang, it's a practical issue rather than anything. Because you have to be suing someone from the Philippines in the United Kingdom. So the first thing to establish really is jurisdiction. So the person, the employee or would-be employee, would probably want the Philippines to be the jurisdiction, but you can still sue, of course, in the United Kingdom. It just makes it a little bit more difficult. So yeah, you
And
can certainly
expensive,
find.
di ba? Hindi ba
You
ma-expensive yan?
actually-
Pupunta ka pa rito.
Yeah. But look, you can also sue. You can certainly take action, no, for debt, for example, for compensation online, no. So they may want to just have a look at that. That's a bit of a pity, really. So just because of the pandemic, they didn't get it. Quite a few people are probably affected, no, by like this, no. Because employer, of course, may plano nga sila, they want to expand, no. But then pandemic hits, and what with the lockdown, especially in the hospitality business, so the answer is you can, or he or she can. Yung nga lang, you may find that it's a practical problem rather than anything.
Okay, si Ranjit Somel, yung very good friend, our very good friend Ranjit, no? Hi, good evening Ranjit, ha? Ayan, bumabati siya, si Ranjit. Good evening, Sir
Good
Sonny. Yan. Ikaw na, attorney. Sige, basahin mo.
Oh, so sorry. Yeah, so Ranjit Sumet sabi niya, oh, sorry. Good evening, Sir Sonny, Attorney Lira, and all. Happy Thursday. Hope all is well. Thank you for
Yes.
watching po.
Hope you're okay, Ranjit, ha? Sana, I'm looking forward to seeing him in person, ha? Once this thing is over, no? Oy, si Maria Teresa Javier from Los Angeles. Wow. Bigat naman, ha?
Wow.
LA.
Yeah.
Los Angeles, Pero pagkakastila, Los Angeles yan, di ba? Los Angeles. Yan.
Yeah.
Los
Such an
Angeles.
interesting place, LA. You're so lucky, Miss Javier. I am so jealous.
Yes, oo. Maria Teresa, siguro pagka Maria Teresa, mga Marites. Yan ang pangalan, di ba? Okidoki. Right, asa na ba tayo? Teka muna, tingnan ko yung mga yung mga yung mga nanonood sa atin, no? Uy, Rosalinda Ronquillo, attorney, is watching with us, no? Gretchen Cory. Have you heard of a name? Gretchen Cory. Nakakatuwa. Gretchen Cory yung pangalan, no? Mabuhay. Uy, si Jimmy Carpon. Jimmy, okay. Ito yung isang nurse na professor, ha? At teacher to sa just sa Germany. Ano tawag dito? Yung taong gumagawa ng parang nagse-certify yata o ano yata, no? Jimmy, di ba? James Marshall Say. Ganda naman ang pangalan ito. Okay. Sabi ni Oya Jim, kanina pa siguro to, sabi niya, out of topic itong tanong na ito. May tanong daw, attorney, ha?
Ano po?
Si Maria, TNT, at may trabaho. At yung sahod, cash in hand ngayon. Nag-apply si Maria for visa application. Kung sakaling itanong nila kung nagtrabaho siya, ano ang best answer sabihin ba niya? Nagtrabaho ba o hindi niya dapat? O hindi siya dapat? I don't know kung nakuha mo yung ano nito.
Yeah, so ang tanong, as I understand it is, okay, nandito nga siya si Maria, TNT nga siya, so wala siyang visa, overstaying na nga siya dito. May trabaho siya, nagpasok siya ng application. Now, ang tanong niya, kung tanungin siya, nagtatrabaho ba siya o may dati o ngayon, ano bang sagot? Now, unang-una, it's never a good idea to lie to the Home Office. Kung ano man, you should always make a full and frank disclosure. But you will find anyway, kung nagpasok si Maria ng application, so sabihin natin maybe on a family route, for example, bringing into play things like exceptional circumstances o kaya may mga bata, you'll probably find that kung may trabaho siya o walang trabaho, that's not the main concern nga for the Home Office. Okay? And their main concern is really, if it's a family application, family type application or exceptional circumstances, are the factors existing to show exceptional circumstances. So I think don't worry too much about, my answer is don't worry too much about that. Worry about the bigger things. And the bigger things would be anong basis nga ng application. If you're submitting exceptional circumstances, for example, Article 8, family life, private life, you need to be able to argue those points. Those are more important to concentrate on.
Okay. Attorney, may tanong pa tayo dito. Pero yung mga pagbati pa, uh, Rapsky Centeno. Kilala mo ba to? Rapsky. Ganda naman. Bago, okay, nice. At least we're seeing people who are watching. No? Mabuhay kayo. Ha? Thank you very much for dropping by and watching. No? Very interesting to kasi this is immigration. So it might not concern you. Pero it might concern some friends or family of yours. Mga ibang, di ba? Mga acquaintances ninyo. Ito, si Leonora Tubog. Gasanilla, attorney. Nanonood sa atin. Ganda ng Leonora Tubog, Gasanilla. Si Rosalinda, ano tawag dito? Ronquillo. Ritzy Tupas. Mabuhay, Ritzy Tupas. Ito, may tanong. Teka muna. May tanong dito si Idel Loner, no? Sabi niya, ano po kailangan na papers pag apply ng visa passport ng baby? Pinas po silang mag-ina. Ang father po ay British. Ayan.
Oh, okay. So it could be. So the first thing to establish is, so yung baby, baby, I suppose, I assume actually a baby. So it could be that the baby can actually apply for registration, no? So that they can, he or she then can come into the UK as already as a British person. Kung hindi, then they would need to get a passport, a Filipino passport, and obviously make an application along with the mother as a dependent of the father who is British. So the documents na kailangan nila would depend, of course, on which type of application you're making. If you're making an application for registration nga, then definitely yung birth certificate ng bata, no? Siguraduhin nyo nga na hindi malabo because sometimes when the PSA issue it malabo nga to make sure that that's fairly clear. You also need the father's passport nga, and also probably an idea to also have birth certificate. In very rare circumstances, they may want proof that he is the father if they're, for example, if they're unmarried, and the best way of proving it would be obviously by way of a paternity test, but hopefully that's not required because that can be quite expensive. And of course, they also need the mother's passport. But if they're making an application for a Filipino passport, of course, it's the usual thing. The birth certificate nga, the mother's passport, I think, is also required. So it depends really which kind of application they're looking to make.
Okay, ito, attorney, may nagpapatanong sa akin, no? Kaibigan ko to, hindi ko alam kung kilala mo. Yung asawa at saka yung lalaki babae tumawag sa akin. Pero yung babae eventually nakausap ko. Ganito ang kwento, ganito situation. Galing sa Spain yung babae, pumunta rito, and then she's running a business, family business. Yung kanyang asawa, kinuha niya, parang kinuha yata. So, ano ba, meron ang papel ba? Yung BR, ano ba yung BR something yata? Anong papel nun? Kasi tinatanong niya, what has to be done now? Ano ba ang kailangan niyang gawin ngayon? Oo, so, okay. Ayan. So, dumating, Spanish citizen yung girl, tapos dumating dito, running the family business, and then she got her husband, may visa yung husband, ano ba, visa ng, parang, ano ba yan, BR something, ano ba yung form, ano ba yung parang lisensya na hawak ng mga tao?
Yung BRP.
BRP. Ano ba ibig sabihin? Biometric, ano ba yan?
Permit.
Residence permit.
Yeah.
Oo.
So, hindi yeah. So, actually, this is
Ano gagawin niya? Ano dapat niyang gawin niya? Parang gusto lang, concern kasi kung anong dapat gawin. Parang iniisip nila, uuwi na lang ba sila sa Spain? O dito lang? Yeah. Is there a chance of really being, mukhang, pwede pa naman, di ba? Hanggang sa June, kailan ba yan? Hanggang June yung sabi mong deadline para sa mga settled na rito, di ba?
Yun na nga po. So ito, it's actually a very good question, especially because of the timing nga, no? So, nandito na siya. Scenario is, nandito na nga siya. She's Spanish passport holder. Kinuha niya yung asawa niya. Let's just assume, I could be wrong, but let's just assume galing nga sa Pinas. And the husband came into the United Kingdom as an EU dependent, no? As an EU spouse, essentially, no? So, binigyan nga siya ng BRP, nandun sa BRP yung card nga that he's here as an EU dependent, EU family member, no? Now, yung EU national, if you have not yet applied under the settlement scheme, no? Even though you are an EU national, and it could be na matagal ka na nga dito, and therefore you've been here for over 5 years, let's say, and you can make an application therefore for the equivalent of a settlement. So you can make an application for what's called settlement status under the settlement scheme. Yeah, kailangan mong gawin yon even though you're EU, even though you're here, okay, and you should do that before the 31st of June next year. Yung asawa mo, he can actually make an application and should make an application also under the settlement scheme, but for pre-settlement status kung hindi pa siya dito 5 years. No? So he should also then get a status nga, pre-settlement status, and that application should also be made before the 31st of June. Do not forget, no? Because after that, then strictly speaking, you will both be overstayers. So you should do that. It's fairly, it's not so bad in the scheme of things as applications go. But don't forget, that's the deadline. You don't need to worry about the 31st of December dahil nandito na nga kayo, but you need to worry about the 30th of June.
So both of them pala, yung mismong spouse ng principal at saka yung parang dependent, parang spouse, 'di ba? O parang ganun, no? Okay. So at least for to apply for the settlement, yung settled status tawag dito 31st of December, 'di ba? Pero yung
June.
Ano yung sinasabi natin na pagka settled ka na sa June, pero kung hindi pa, you have to do it before the 31st. Ano yung, di ba, we were discussing that?
So the two dates are, kung wala ka pa dito, no?
Kung wala ka pa dito?
Wala ka pa dito, you're an EU national, nandun ka sa...
Okay. So pwede ka pa humabol hanggang 31st. Ayun. Pero kung settled ka na rito, you have until the 31st. So both of them, the woman and the spouse pala, kailangan nilang yung kanilang settled status. So yung palang Spanish citizen, hindi pa pala tawag dito, hindi pa pala prente. Yung prente yung parang kampante ka na okay na, you still have to really adhere to the ruling na kailangan mag-submit ka pa rin ng settled status o mag-apply ka ng settled status o iayos mo, i-convert mo into a settled status yung pag-stay dito. Ayun, hanggang June. Yes.
Hanggang June. So siya, kung hindi pa niya, pinapasok yung under the ang pangalan nung process settlement scheme. So hindi pa niya pinapasok yung Spanish national, pasok nyo before the 31st.
Ayun, kailangan pasok ko.
Yung asawa mo, kung hindi pa siya 5 taon, he still needs to make an application, but under the pre-settlement, what he will get is pre-settlement, no?
Ayun,
which essentially that pre-settlement, no? But deadline nga din 30th of June.
Yung partner ko, while talking Spanish, attorney. Talking of partners, Spanish citizens. Yung aking partner Spanish, citizen. So na-settle niya na, naayos na niya. Noon pa.
Good.
In fact, wala nga bayad eh. Nagbayad muna nung una, na-refund. No? Nung panahon ni Theresa May. Panahon pa ni Theresa May yun eh. Okay. We have so many questions. Siguro nanahin ko na yung questions bago yung mga pagbate, no? Pero yan nga, sabi lang ni Andrew Hudson, thank you for the time and advice. Much appreciated. Okay, basahin ko may mga tanong dito. Sandali lang, attorney, ha?
Sure.
Okay. Okay. Ayan. Saan na ba ito? Ito, si Lorraine Canto, sabi niya, attorney, halimbawa po, nandito na po ang applicant as a carer. Let's say, employed na siya for 4 years sa alaga niya and willing po siya mag-sponsor kay applicant. Pwede po ba yun?
Okay. So, I'm assuming wala siyang status yung carer, nagtatrabaho nga lang siya as a carer nga. So
wala bang dalawang scenario diyan, attorney? Wala bang merong at saka wala o most likely wala yan?
Yeah, I mean let's look at both, no? So unang-una, kung overstayer na yung tao, Canto, yung kaibigan mo, nagtatrabaho na siya for 4 years. Kung wala siyang status, that she's not saved by the employment, no? It could be na pwede siyang magpasok ng application that potentially could lead to a visa in the UK, but it does not give her nga it does not mean na makakakuha siya ng, for example, indefinite leave to remain if she's been working for 5 years nga for that employer. So, yun, kung wala siyang visa. Kung meron siyang visa, then it depends really kung anong status niya dito. Now, it's unlikely na ang visa niya is under the old points-based system as a carer because that was not really that was not one of the kind of employment nga that would be granted under the point-based system. Now, pero kung nandito siya, sabihin natin, spouse visa siya, no? Nagtatrabaho nga siya dito as a carer, then walang pakialam yung trabaho niya. No? She would need to make an application for settlement nga under, say as a spouse, kung yun ang visa niya nga dito. So, it depends really kung how central the job is to her status in the UK.
Okay. Right. Meron pang unahin ko yung mga tanong pa, no? So, okay. Okay. Ito, si Edgar, sabi niya, ang tanong, no? May tanong siya. Ang tanong, ayan. Paano kung kasal sa Pinas pero ang kinakasama niya for 2 years na ay ang mistress? Pwede bang si mistress ang i-apply na dependent kasabay niya papunta dito? Alam mo, teka muna bago ko masagutin to, attorney, may kukwento lang ko sa inyo. Ito ay nasa taga-SSS to. No? So, na-assign to. One of those mga kaibigan natin si Generation na-assign dito. Pero hindi siya, no? Ibang tao. Na-assign ng Middle East. Alam niyo ba, ang dinala niya, ang mistress niya, attorney? Na-discover na ano yata yun, na-suspendi or something. Dinala niya sa Middle East yung kanyang mistress. But anyway, ito yung tanong ni Edgar Duway. Nakuha mo ba yan? Kasal sa Pinas pero ang kinakasama niya for 2 years na ay ang mistress. Pwede bang si mistress ang i-apply na dependent kasabay niya papunta rito?
Yeah, I mean that would
mistress
be...
ba yan o parang partner ba yan? Sabagay, wala namang may partner ba sa Pilipinas?
Yeah, hindi nga lang sila kasal. So, kung papasok siya, so I'm assuming na he papasok nga siya dito as maybe he's already British or maybe he has indefinite leave to remain kung gusto niya kunin yung partner niya nga. You can, so spouse is one thing, no? Absolutely, anyway, fiance is also a possibility. You can make an application for your partner nga of 2 years, no? If you are living together a minimum of 2 years and in a relationship what they call akin to marriage, pwede din nga yun. So the quick answer is likely yes is the answer. Yung nga lang, the issue more is a practical one, and that's evidence, no? So you need to be able to show na talagang nagsasama nga kayo. And that could be evidenced by, maybe bills nga to the same name or kung meron kayong mga anak. So the answer is yes, there's a possibility.
Pwede
But,
pa. Okay.
Yeah, but kailangan nyo ng ebidensya.
Okay. Maraming nanonood sa atin, attorney. Andiyan Jennifer Guevara Bukadker. Jennifer, ayan, no? Mildred Acebo. Ayan. Tapos, okay. Eunice de la Cruz Hermenegildo. Haba ng mga pangalan. Alam mo, attorney, parang, hahaba ng pangalan ng ng mga binabasa ko. Ayan. Tapos Lerma Andrada. Uy, yung ating kaibigan si Rose Eclarinal. Oh, Rose. Kilala mo ba si Rose Eclarinal, attorney?
Just for I think she's a viewer, di ba?
No. Ano yan?
Diba?
She's the, reporter ng ABS-CBN sa TFC dito sa Pilipinas,
yes,
dito sa UK.
Yeah.
Yan,
the name
Yan ang
was
ating
there,
kaibigan.
yeah.
Kumari ko yan,
Yeah.
kaibigan ko yan. No? Nanonood ka.
Kamusta?
Rose, I love you. Yan, mahal na mahal natin mga kaibigan natin yan eh. A very good friend. Kumari ko yan, mga kumari. Kami. Edgar Duway. Ayan. Hindi, Edgar Duway. Ito, sabi ni MR May Magpuyo de Mata. Sabi niya, attorney, paano po if kasal dito sa UK, pwede bang dito mag-apply ng spouse visa or need talagang umuwi sa Pinas para sa Pinas mag-apply?
Oh no, you can make an application in country.
Paano yan?
Yeah.
Kasal dito, paano yun?
Yeah,
Bakit? Nag-tourist tapos muna, nag-visitor's visa, kinasal, gano'n? Ano yan? Paano yun?
There are probably a number of possibilities. Well, probably mainly two. So, nandito na, so, maybe, sabihin natin wala siyang visa. So, that's the first possibility. Wala siyang visa, kasal nga siya dito, which is allowed, of course. So, kasal
Uh-huh.
siya dito, a question is, should they make an application in country or out country? Kung nandito na kayo, then you can absolutely make an application in country. Yung nga lang, you need to, of course, make out your case. No? So it would be things like nga, if you are, you may need to be able to show, or you need to be able to show that there's what's called insurmountable obstacles to pursue a family life in the United Kingdom, for example. So kung asawa mo, Briton nga dito, for example, o matagal na dito siya nakatira, dito siya pinanganak, it could be that you can say it would not be, it would present you with insurmountable obstacles to leave the United Kingdom to pursue a family life in the Philippines. Another possibility is, sabihin natin you have limited leave to remain, estudyante ka, no? May visa ka pa, estudyante ka, nandito ka, you got married, and do you need to leave the country? Absolutely not. You can make an application in country. So don't just dismiss the possibility, no? So ang payo ko, really seek advice, yeah, because it may well be that your situation is one that would allow you and grant you leave to remain in the United Kingdom. So before doing anything like leaving the UK, and of course, the separation that will follow because of that, seek advice before doing anything.
Okay. Sige, medyo nakakatawa yung mga wife ng mga leaders, no? Mga presidente, founders ng mga organizations. Attorney, nanonood sa atin, ha?
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, Rose Alin Castre. Hindi lang kasi napipika. Pasensya na, I'm reading your messages. Kasi, minsan kasi hindi napipick up ng ating generator, no? ng mga comments. So, I'm just relying on the old messages dito. Okay, Rose Alincastre, good evening. No? Sabi naman ni Andrew Hudson, thank you, Rose, for your time and advice. Much appreciated. Ito, napakagandang spelling na Michelle. Attorney, Michile. 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 Angolo. Now, that's kind of unique, no, for a Michelle, no? Siguro, oo. Ryan Fernandez. Oy, Ryan Fernandez, ang dating head ng mga sports activities niya sa Epsom, no? Very good friend of ours. Mabuhay for watching, no? Bernadette Bermudez Katubig, watching. Jane Sara Bolosan is watching, no? Mary Rose Yap, watching. Jeneline Dalagan is watching. A question from Virginia Smith. Entrepreneur's visa is good for 3 years. Is there a chance you can extend? And for how many years can extend? Siguro, can you extend it? Ayan. Attorney.
Yeah. You can vary it. For example, now. So you need, if you have an entrepreneur visa, then you only need for 3 years. Then you only need, in fact, another 2 years. No, if you then get 2 years, then you will have clocked up the required 5 years with the with the possibility of applying up for indefinite. No? So if you can't do that, then if you have additional visa, you can also add to it. Let's say you entered the United Kingdom as, let's say, as a student, and then you became then an entrepreneur, and maybe even under the skilled worker route. If you have completed no gaps, of 10 years, then under the long residency route, you can make an application for indefinite. So good for you. Here, entrepreneur visas are few and far between, actually. So well done for having it.
Okay, well, yes. Okay, okie-dokie. All right. Attorney, ay, may nagtatanong, attorney, ito, hindi to sa immigration. Saan daw ako nagpaayos ng buhok ko? Ayan, oo. Okay ba yung buhok ko? Gusto mo ba yung buhok?
Ang ganda nga. I wasn't going to comment, Sonny, but your hair is getting more and more beautiful each week.
Really, attorney? Oh, I love you, attorney. Yan, pagka may kaibigan kayo, ganyan talaga, ano? Siyempre, di ba? Hindi, ito, kay pangalan to? Si, ako, nakalimutan ko na. Dino Fornilius, si Dino Fornilius, nasa diary natin yan eh. You can contact him. Okay, maayos, no? In fact, gagawin naming showcase ng buko. At the moment, it's brown and black, no? Next time, blonde and black siguro para kakaiba naman, di ba? So, pareho kayo na buhok ni Attorney Dana. Si Dana, pareho kayong long na mahabang black, jet black na buhok, no? Yeah. Oo,
Yeah.
ayan. So, ayan. Pero in case kayo magpapagupit, subukan nyo si Dino. Napakahusay, number one. And he's a champion. Meron kasi mga nagiging mga ano tawag dito, hairstylist. Ano lang, hairstylist lang. Ito, champion talaga. They won in competition. So, ibig sabihin, talaga matindi ka, di ba? If you win in
Yeah, no.
competitions, di ba, mahusay ka kung ganun.
Yeah.
So,
And
mabuhay
yeah.
si Dino. Dino Fornelius, no? Nasa East Ham. Tingnan ko nga, ano address niya? Para masabi ko lang, ma-acknowledge naman natin. Diyos ko,
And
Diba?
that's advertising yung buhok mo.
Ay, well, attorney, siyempre. Ito, Dino Fornelius Unisex Salon. Your hair, my passion. 27
Oh.
Wakefield Street, East Ham, London, E61NG. And if you wanna call, 07, siyempre, hindi nyo na matatanda ito. Mabilis to. Pero basahin ko na. 0793-9064810. Ayan. Si Dino Fornelius. Ayan, Dino Fornelius. Ayan. So, thank
Wow.
you. Mahusay ang ang kanyang gupit ng buhok. Ang kanyang stylist. Okay, may alam mo, marami tayong mga nanonood, pati si Rose Eclarinal, di ba? Mga taga ABS-CBN nanonood sa atin, di ba? Okay.
So,
Sabi, Dan Castaneda, good evening. Jeneline Dalagan, Mary Rose Yap, no? Sarah Jane Bolosan, thank you very much for watching. Nancy Amores Nicole has a question. Attorney Lira, kapag British citizen ka na, pwede bang for good sa Pinas while receiving a private pension? Or how long ba pwede magstay sa Pinas? Pero British citizen na, you can, wala ka na yung 2-year na, di ba? Pagka permanent resident ka lang, hindi ka na kailangan bumalik-balik dito. But anyway, sige, attorney.
Yeah, no, actually, that's correct. So, kung British ka na, and that's the main thing, you see. When people ask me, should they indefinite na nga sila, should they change to a British passport, no? Then my answer is often kung ano bang plano for the future, no? So the difference, or there are a number of differences, but big difference between someone kung meron kang indefinite, no? So settlement status ka in the UK, permanente ka na dito, o kung British ka. Now, kung permanente ka na dito, but you hold still a Filipino passport, if you leave the United Kingdom for more than 2 years, no? Or sometimes less than that if they deem that you're no longer regarding the UK as your home, no? Then they can stop you from coming back if you go beyond the 2 years. So they may well say, no, hindi ka na namin papasukin, in which case you would need to make a new application, a returning resident under the returning resident route, no? Now, kung British ka, you don't have that problem. No? So, nandun ka sa Pinas for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, you want to come back into the UK, but you're British, you can come back to the United Kingdom. Now, if you do decide, one thing that put people off is, and I can fully understand that, no, in your heart of hearts, you are Filipino, and you don't want to give up your nationality, which I can fully understand. But a practical possibility may well be, you can do that. You can you make an application for British passport, and of course you are British, and then you can apply anyway to reacquire your Philippines citizenship, the Filipino citizenship. So then you have dual nationality. The quick answer to your question is, if you're British, you can stay there. And as regards the pension, a private pension, absolutely, you can. You're entitled to receive it. I can't imagine that a private pension would limit where you can live. But have a look at the small print. But I can't see that a private pension would preclude you from receiving that just because you're not living in the United Kingdom.
Okay, well, ayan. Okay, ito si Ranjit bumabati sa atin lang, no? Sabi niya, ano ba sabi niya, Ranjit? Mabasa mo ba yan, attorney?
Yeah.
Sabi
Ranjit, so sabi niya, sorry for the short message. Yes, Sonny, we'll meet one day once COVID-19 is over.
Yes.
We'll do the one peak challenge. No?
Oh, right.
Is there a subject about staying in the Philippines for more than just a few months at a time? Okay.
It's like a British staying in the Philippines for a period of time.
Yeah.
What's the maximum?
Yeah.
Parang is that what he wants to find out? There must be a maximum that he could, how he could maximize his stay there, no? Or the maximum period of time that he could probably be there.
Yeah.
Siguro yung natanong niya, no?
Yeah, it probably depends
Okay.
on what status you have there, Ranjit. But so, for example, if you're there as if you have one possibility. If you have, if you're able to support yourself without, I think it's called independent something or rather. So depends, I think, your status. But I mean, one thing people often forget is, of course, the Philippines, like the United Kingdom, we have immigration rules. So do not overstay.
Okay.
That would cause you.
Okay. Ito, si okay, Nelly Fami is watching. Nelly, yan, ito yung first lady ng Caviteños UK, attorney. Nelly Fami, yes. So ano tayo, star-studded ng mga viewers natin ngayon. Merong
Really? Yeah.
isang batikang broadcaster from ABS-CBN, of course, no? TFC. And, yan, tapos si presidente ng 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 Caviteños UK. All right, si Tessie Duran saying, I'm watching po. Talagang gusto niyang emphasize, she's watching, no? And then, Analu Antipuesto says, good evening po, Attorney Lira and Kuya Sonny. Ayun. Dal Poblete, sabi ni Dal Poblete, watching, no? And then, ito, sabi niya, hello Lira, musta ka na? Ikaw nga magbasa nito, Attorney.
Okay. So, Angelita Garcia, yeah. Oh, sorry, nawala siya. Hindi ko nabasa.
Nawala ba? Nawala? Okay, nawala. Yeah. Nawala, sorry. Okay, sorry. Hindi na, sorry.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Ito yan, sabi niya, ito may message siya sa'yo. Ayan, may message siya sa atin. Sa'yo pala, sa'yo.
So, Angelita Garcia. Hello, Lira. Musta na? Missing you. Hope to see you sometime. Merry Christmas, Auntie. Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Missing you daw. She's missing you. Ayan, missing. Okay.
Yeah,
Tapos nagbabatian sila, attorney. Ate Ganda, good evening. Sino ba sinasabi? Si Analu Antipuesto.
Analu Antipuesto. Good evening po.
Ayan. Sumagot naman din si Angie, no? Ayan, hello, Ganda. Good evening to you. Kumusta ka na? Ayan.
Yeah. Well,
Tapos,
Angie, get old.
Uy, ayan. Nancy Amores Nicole, thank you, Attorney Lira. This is very enlightening. Cheers. Uy, ito, masusurprise ka, Attorney, ha? Ito, kita mo to. Bernadette Bermudez Katubig, hulaan mo kung saan siya nanonood. Ayan, basahin mo.
Wow, watching from the Netherlands. Very informative.
Ano tayo? Europe-wide tayo, no? Europe-wide tayo, Attorney, no? So, ayan.
In the US. So,
US. Yes.
Yeah, I'm so
batiin ko lang
honored.
yung mga ibang sorry. Go ahead, Attorney. Hindi, batiin ko lang yung mga sila Linda Hernandez, Mary Ann Seguritan, Arnold Flores Valdez, no? Ayan. Thank you very much na nanonood sila sa atin. Dolor Palmares, Cherry Chi. Ito mga names na very nakakatuwa. Imelda Hintay Fernandez, no? Jane Saramosing, no? Rosalie Napolitano Cortas, Laham Anibem. Ayan, siguro mahal to. Binaliktad lang niya yung pangalan niya. Si Raul Dimapilis Villalon is watching, no? Ayan, Jonald Saraspe. Si Jonald Saraspe.
Yeah,
Jonald,
yeah,
mabuhay. Ayan,
Merry Christmas to you.
Nakausap natin si Jonald yata, na-guest natin one time dito yata, di ba? He was one of our resource guest speaker,
Lovely,
dito sa show.
Beautiful family.
Well, okay, I guess ayun no, nakakatuwa na overtime yata tayo, Attorney. Mukha yatang over tayo. Anyway, napasarap kasi ang kwentuhan. Ganyan talaga eh. Hindi mo napapansin ang oras dumadaan talaga, no? Napakabilis. Ayan. But we had so many things to discuss tonight. A lot of people are really, got a lot of information. Very informative daw. Gaya nga na sinabi nila, di ba? Yan, sa mukha ni Itaga Netherlands, very informative. Si Bernadette Bermudez Katubig. Oy, Bernadette, pinapaalala ko lang sa iyo, ha? Sabado, panalo, manood ka sa Sonny LARAGAN, no? Mamimigay ako ng 5,000 pesos sa mga loved ones ninyo, sa pamilya sa Pilipinas. Kayo nanalo, but ang recipient nasa Pilipinas. Okay, Attorney, naku, mahabang ang talakayan natin, nakakatuwa. At I'm so surprised with a lot of names na alam mo na, no? So, mabuhay kayo, ha? Thank you very much, no? At hindi ka lang pang UK, pang Europe pa. O hindi, pati pang mundo pala, dahil pati sa Amerika eh. Di ba? Yeah. Sa Amerika, mabuhay kayo, mabuhay. Mabuhay. Si Maria Teresa, ano pangalan? Maria Teresa diyan sa ano, no? Sa California, Los Angeles, no? Mabuhay, mabuhay, mabuhay. Ayan, kumusta ka na? Anong ikay nasa hope? Ikaw ay nasa mabuting kalagayan. Mary Rose Yap. Yan, no? Thank you very much for watching. Sige. Naku, nakakatuwa at mukhang ano to? I'm watching from Cheltenham. Namabol pa. Tapos isa, yeah. So, si Yan Galicia Paner. Thank you very much. Pinagmamalaki na, I'm watching from Cheltenham. Yan, kailangan. Okay, attorney, baka may gusto ka pang banggitin, no? Baka meron kang mga shoutouts or anything or,
Yes.
It's been a very wonderful night.
Yeah, no. Truly, it has been. I always say this, and I'm sure people are getting tired of me saying it, but I'll say it anyway. Talaga, Thursday is Happy Thursday because I do so enjoy nga taking part, no? Especially when we have nga when may bumabati sa atin, locally, and anyway also slightly further afield within the United Kingdom, and also in tonight, US at saka of course Europe, Netherlands nga. So it's such a pleasure, no? And truly, I'm so humbled that you taking the time to listen to us. So whatever, if you have questions, you have my email. Email me. I'm more than happy to reply. Actually, I know Christmas is coming, but if you have questions, you have my email. Email me. I'm not going anywhere like many other people, so I'm more than happy certainly to deal with emails kung meron kayong mga questions. And if I can't help, then at least I hope to be able to point you in the right direction. But truly, I'm humbled. I'm so pleased that we've had so many viewers, Sonny. It truly is a pleasure to take part. So I'm so grateful for the time you're giving.
Yo, mabuhay. Meron pang ako si Liz, nanonood sa atin. Thank you very much, no? Ano pa pangalan ito? Josefina, siyempre, batiin ko lang kasi Chiquito Alicando, para at least mabati lang sila dahil paski paano, they nanood sila, they dropped by to watch and listen to us, no? Okay, well, I guess it's time to us to say goodbye, no? Maraming salamat. I hope you guys had a wonderful time, informative night tonight, no? At matutulog kayo na medyo marami kayong baong kaalaman sa gabing ito, no? Marami kaming napag-usapan, no, ni attorney at sana'y because of that you would make it a habit to be with us and be happy with us every Thursdays because we call this a Happy Thursday. So, sa ngalan ni attorney Lira Simon CABATBAT, no? At sa ngalan din ng mga lahat ng nanood kayo dito sa programang ito. Ito po si Sonny Laragang nasasabing maraming salamat po sa inyong pagsubaybay dito sa ating programa. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's do a Happy Thursday again next Thursday. Next Thursday is the 23rd or 24th?
24th, no?
23rd.
24th. 7 days, 24th, no?
Ano yun? Sa Pilipino, masyadong mahalagang day yan dahil yan ang eve of, di ba? Medianoche ba? Noche Buena. Nalilito ako. Which is which? Noche Buena ba o Medianoche?
I think it's Noche Buena, no?
Noche Buena for both?
I don't know. Yeah.
For Christmas at saka New Year. But anyway, ayan, makikita ho tayo kung sakasakali ho sa eve ng Christmas. Okay ka ba? May lakad ka ba o andyan ka pa rin?
No. I would not miss a Happy Thursday.
Okay. Sige. Well, okay. So it's a date, guys, ha? It's a date with attorney. Yan, narinig nyo si attorney, no? She's committed herself to be here, no? Despite being the eve of Christmas, no? Just to be with us. Kasi it's enjoyable. It's also, it makes everybody's life happy. It makes everybody smile whenever we are here, no? Just the attorney, no? So next Thursday, ha? Kita-kita. You take care, ha? And God bless and bye-bye you. Night.